Well, when you made a major goof, like letting those kids get away from you on the field and then bringing stolen property up to the community, you do your best with it, and then you wonder what the press is going to say. So, this isn't much of a picture, but it says, Evergreen Junior High School Principal Dean Riggs urges students to reevaluate the price of their souvenir. I want to read what the editor said, because when you get right down to anything that's got import in a community, what the editor says has a lot more to say to people that are people of power than what the reporter reports. So under the heading that he uses of ball points, Owen K. Ball writes, Dean Riggs, principal of Evergreen Junior High School, faced a ticklish problem this week and in our opinion handled it rather well. The story is elsewhere on this page. Paragraph. However, I've had some inquiries on the matter and they mostly boil down to this. What on earth were the adults chaperoning the junior high youngsters at the Bronco football game thinking of in allowing them to bring home a portion of the goalpost in a Jefferson County school bus? I can't answer the question, and Riggs says he doesn't know why he didn't say, turn around right now and put that down. What do parents do when youngsters come home with an item that they pick up in a store or at a neighbor's house? Some of them hustle the youngsters right back to the store or neighbors and make them return it in person with an apology. Some parents will come in and pay for the item. Some ignore it and let the child keep the pilfered item. Paragraph. I personally favor the return and apologize system. Paragraph. And I feel that is what should be done here, with the youngsters paying for transportation of the goal posts back to Bear Stadium and all of them standing there apologizing. Paragraph. No one can seriously blame the youngsters for their enthusiasm, as they were caught up in mob hysteria. But the removal of spoils from the scene should not be condoned. Right? And that was the end of the editorial. I'm not very smart. I should have called Owen Ball and thanked Mr. Ball and thanked him for that editorial. It said exactly what I believe, even though I didn't do what I should have done. I believe what he said. As you know from the second installment, didn't have any luck at all getting anybody down at Bronco headquarters to care at all, whether or not we had taken the post or whether or not we returned it. But you know what? I think if it had this editorial in hand and called and asked to speak to somebody in the brass and held on that phone until they got me somebody, I bet it would have been handled very diplomatically. Might even had a little press coverage down there. Would have made them look pretty good, you know. But that's the politics of the lives of big organizations. Now I want to read at least part, that's about 2 pages here, of what the reporter reported when they were present when I talked to the students on Monday following this Sunday game. The Evergreen Junior, and incidentally, I don't think Jane Doherty did this article, but if she did, it isn't quite up to her usual standard, because there's a couple of places that the reporter didn't really understand what was going on, and yet what the reporter reports is what they think they saw, and they're the reporter, you're not. Begins the article, the Evergreen, well, the title on the article is EJHS Adds Tarnished Trophy. The Evergreen Junior High football team brought home a trophy last Sunday. It was a captured trophy, rather than one the team had been awarded. It was, in fact, a portion of the steel goalpost which stood at Bear Stadium while the professional Denver Broncos larruped the Miami Dolphins. After the game ended, a mob of thousands of persons descended on the playing field and tore down the goalpost. Evergreen's junior footballers, seeing the game in recognition of their play during the season just ended, enthusiastically joined in the melee, which apparently got out of hand and in some fashion managed to secure and make away with the post, giving it a ride up the mountain in a Jefferson County school bus. The souvenir was the top section of the goalpost, called the upright, and was approximately 20 feet long. The goalpost remnant was deposited in the workshop of the junior high school, soon to become the subject of much discussion and much thought, that perhaps the kids hadn't done quite right in making way with their prize. Empire Sports, the executive head of the Bronco organization, said of the incident, quote, "We appreciate fan enthusiasm, but we also appreciate they're not tearing down fixed property. What's next?" End of quote. An official of the Empire Sports estimated the damage at 1,000. Skipping a little, many persons were questioning the acceptability of what the EJHS students did. Was it serious or just a cute prank? Dean Riggs, principal of Evergreen Junior High, confessed to mixed emotions about the question while he was at the game. The problem was not to be the cop who was booed for evicting a troublemaker, but to preserve order while the youngsters enjoyed themselves. On Tuesday, Riggs brought the question before two classes in which the football players as well as other students were present. So I guess it was Tuesday and not on Monday. No names were mentioned, and he said there would be no punishment. However, the students were to write a short paper on what he had to say meant to the student. You will write a paper which you will be graded on for communication. There will not necessarily be one correct answer. We want to see that you are exposed to one train of thought. I'm skipping a little here to try to get to, he's going back over what we told them. Okay, picking it up, a quote that they have from me. "I let you down. I let the school down, but not taking action then instead of now. Did the Broncos care? I don't know. Maybe that line around the field was a token line to protect themselves legally. I don't know. You may want to relate this incident to the Watts riots. Don't kid yourself." That wasn't from me. Now we're back to quote. "Don't kid yourself. There was danger of injury or death." Skipping again, quote, "One citizen," he's quoting me, "one citizen pointed out yesterday, you have stolen property in your school. What are you going to do with it? You may want to write on that. It could be very challenging. Am I your principal? Am I, your principal, standing here with stolen property? Did I let you down? I suspicion I did because I was a coward or for some other reason. I tell you this, that post will not hang on the wall. I guarantee you that." And of course, by the time I read the editorial, the post was back at Bronco headquarters.